What it do, baby? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Microphone check, 1 2 1 2 in the place to be. Get my camera going here. Go ahead and fire up. I'm gonna do packet tracer for this lab, man. Lab, I think it's Lab C, DHCP clients. That one should be really quick. Really quick. Yes, we're going back to the junior woodchuck application. Yeah, Lab C, page 537 in the book. You are now tuned into the network. The YouTube channel that takes complex network topics, dumbs it down to a more simple language. Go ahead and drag and drop. Let's see what we got here. Where we at? Lab C. Yeah, we only need. Geez, come on, where is it, man? It's right here. Configuring clients. Okay, one router, one switch, and one DHCP server. So I'm gonna go with the 4321. One router, bloop. One switch, bloop. And one DHCP server. The reason why I'm going with packet tracer today is because I don't have a physical DHCP server. Also, I'm pretty sure there's a way to, import Windows servers into like EvenG and DHCP and EvenG and stuff like that, but I haven't gotten to that, so I haven't really gotten to like messing with end devices. Y'all know, like fucking with network infrastructure devices, routers and switches. Let's go ahead and cable them bad boys up. I'm gonna go with the straight through. How they got it cabled up? They got it from FA00 to FA02. I got gigabit Ethernet ports, so 00 to 0 port 02, and then from port 03 to the DHCP server. Bloop bloop. I'm gonna call him router 1, R1, right? And just in case somebody ain't got the book, I know one of y'all, there's somebody in here that ain't got the book. Y'all like one of them college students that like to wait to the last, the last couple of weeks, or at least the last couple of weeks to get the damn book. And by then, we already done got through the semester. Let me get some labeling here. Where is the damn label? I haven't used packet tracer in a minute, man. And I always, there it is. Note. I forgot. It's been a minute since I used packet tracer, I guess. 192.168.20.1/24 subnet, right? So that's going to be his IP address, right? Y'all hit me with that like button. Typically, we stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We get our labs from this book called 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this from 101labs.net, or there's a link in the description box below. Y'all please get that book from the affiliate link, man. I know I keep promoting their website, 101labs.net, but Amazon did hit me like, hey, you ain't getting enough sales. You ain't driving enough sales. We might have to close your damn account. So, y'all, if you plan on getting the book, click that link that's in the description of these videos. But we're almost wrapping up this book. We're gonna wrap up this book, I say, by this week, because we're gonna move on to the CCNP version of this book. So more difficult topics, more devices. Obviously, we only got like 3 devices here. We're gonna be like playing with BGP, route redistribution. We're gonna be doing EIGRP, a lot more complex topics and stuff like that. So, and y'all know how much I love this book. I'm still working on the attack plan for the Encore and NRC exams. We got Professor Black Ops in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. We got Gonzalo Nicolas in the building. You damn right, Professor. He said, damn, nice intro music. Man, appreciate that, man. That's actually a beat that I got from one of the guys I used to work with a long time ago. Yeah, back in the days, I used to rap, believe it or not. So this was like probably a good 20 years ago, man. Thought I was Common Sense or Talib Kweli. But yeah, that was one of the beats that I never end up using. And I just decided to use it as an intro. So, what else we got? Yep, that's pretty much it. So, I'm going to let a couple people to give them some time to cable up their devices just like this right here. And then we'll move on with the show. Let's move that guy. Let's move. In the meantime, let's see what we got going on in the network worlds. I seen something that I wanted to, in a pretty good article about about data centers and clouds and stuff like that. Oh, here go the headline. Why the cloud will never eat the data center. Even if traditional data center tasks are all moved to the cloud, there will still be a need for on-site infrastructure that will ultimately require what looks like a traditional data center. So yes, we know that most people are offloading all, their networking infrastructure to the cloud, right? But guess what? There's a data center somewhere, right? We're not actually offloading the shit to a fucking cloud, right? There is an actual physical data center, physical servers, all of that stuff somewhere, right? We call it the cloud, but there is a physical data center somewhere, right? So the traditional networking infrastructure will never go away. I don't care what y'all say, right? It is the future to move all, leverage AWS and Azure and all of those technologies and stuff like that. But somewhere in the United States, or even, in foreign countries, UK or whatever, there's a data center hosting your cloud somewhere, right? Your cloud. So for those of y'all that are all like about the future and stuff like that, and clouds is going to take over, guess what? It's not an actual cloud, all right? So again, page number 536, if y'all ready to go, I mean, not 536. Yeah. It's actually 535, because the 535 has the purpose, the objective, there's a note, etc., etc. Then it gives you the topology, which looks just like this. So go ahead and cable your stuff up. If you have physical hardware, go ahead and do this too. If you have a physical DHCP server, go ahead and do that as well. But like I said, it's easier to use virtualization. Yeah, I know I like using my physical hardware, but I don't have a DHCP server, so that's why I decided to do packet tracer. So task 1 is to configure the host names on router 1 and switch 1. We know how to do that, right? If not, if you're new, you'll know how to do a host name now, right? So go to router 1, right? He's already powered on. Typically, you would have to power him on right here like this, right? Bloop, and turns it on, right? But he's already on, so and then you'll be prompted to for a wizard to set this up. But we're network engineers, right? We don't go by the defaults, right? We change the admin password, all that shit, right? So we click no there. Right now the default name is router, right? We're gonna change that to R1, right? So global config mode. And y'all know we about to get to the CCNP topic, so I'm not gonna be going over simple shit like this after this, right? But this is just for some of the newbies in here, right? We changed it to router 1. What else he wanted to do? He said change the host name for switch 1. He's already also powered on. Bloop, right? And take note of these lights here, right? We got some red lights here. That lets us know these interfaces are down. I'll show you to turn it up, right? Go to the switch. He's also prompting us for a wizard. Is he? Is he dead? Is he dead? No. Global config mode, same thing, right? Host name, and then SW1, right? What else they want us to do? Task 2. We only got 3 tasks for this, man. This should be a really simple lab. That's why I said we're gonna do lab C through G, right? And we're gonna try to knock all these out, man. Because then we'll be done with this book. There's 2 more appendices at the end. Appendix A, Appendix B. I don't want to do them because they're frame relayed. That's not even covered in CCNP. Like that's old technology. We ain't got to do all of that. So I'm not going to cover that. Task 2: configure VLAN 100 on switch 1 and name it DHCP VLAN. Right. So we go to switch. Let me move these guys up. Bloop. Like that. Right. What he said? He said this is why I like it. An old school beat. Yeah, man. Super old, man. You name some old. Some old rappers, man. Yeah, man, I'm old school, man. You say, bro, I appreciate everything you do, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and stuff like that, man. Real deal on the field. Shout out to you, man. And shout out to, I forgot who it was, but he gave me a super chat. I'm not a super chat. He cash apped me some money to let him know. And he passed the CCNA exam like that. Let me see. I can't even remember. But really appreciated that, man, because like I said, just you guys DMing me, let me know, hey man, your videos help me out. That's good enough, man. But you know, I'm not gonna say no to some cash, and he sent me some cash, and I really appreciated that. So shout out to Trayvon Ellis Jones. He passed his CCNA exam and stuff like that. So appreciate that. Appreciate the the cash, whatever. And he said I love hearing that bloop. Yeah, and yeah. So he passed his CCNA exam, and he said my videos helped and stuff like that. So I love seeing that, and love seeing you guys prosper and leveling up. So what were we doing? Oh, the VLANs. Switch 0 for some reason. Let me change him up just in case somebody's confused. I thought you said his name was Switch 1. Bloop. That's for you. Switch 1. Use SW1, right? SW1, right? This is a simple lab, man. I know I'm taking my time with this, man, but just in case there's some newbies in here, like I said. VLAN 100. So we just type in VLAN 100. That's how you create a VLAN, right? Virtual local area network, right? It's a way to segment our networks at layer 2, right? So we have some ports in this VLAN and ports in that VLAN, etc., right? And they said to name it all caps, DHCP underscore VLAN. So DHCP underscore VLAN. Shout out to Endrit in the building, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm going to use the even G for probably the next lab, man. He said assign ports FA02, in my case, yeah, FA02 and FA03 to this VLAN. So how do we do that? Go back. I could have done it from that mode and just do, right? But I could do, I'm going to put both of those ports in that VLAN at the same time with the range command, interface range, right? And then FA0 /1 through 2, right? That way we can configure both ports at the same time, right? They're basically saying put this port and that port in VLAN 100. How we do that? Switch port, access VLAN 100, right? That puts it in that VLAN. We can show our work with show VLAN brief, right? And that lets us know that those ports are in VLAN 100 indeed. Another way we can verify that with is, remember, I like to try to do more than one show command, right? Show interface FA0/1, and then let's say switch port at the end. That lets us know it is in the 100 VLAN, right? It is not an access port right now. So right now, and then it's also down. So, well, that's FA02, that port right there. Let's put that port as an access port. Let's hard code it as an access port. Both of them, actually. Interface range. It didn't ask for that, but we're gonna do that anyway, right? FA0/2 through 3 switch port access, switch port mode access, right? That makes them both access ports as opposed to trunk ports, right? What's the difference? Access ports can carry only one VLAN at a time, and trunk ports carry multiple VLANs, even though we're just working with one VLAN here, but it just makes sense. So just make an access port, whatever, right? And then he says, and also on task 2, to prevent DHCP request timeouts, enable the ports to automatically transition to the spanning tree forwarding state. What does that mean? So there's different flavors of spanning tree, right? What's spanning tree? Spanning tree is a way to stop layer 2 loops from happening in layer 2 network. What's a loop? A loop is when, remember what I said, if you looked at my video, I have a video that explains the switching process, right? When it receives a frame and it doesn't know where it needs to go to, it's going to flood the frame, right? Send it out every port except from where it came from. But when it does that, it has a potential to cause a loop to happen in the network. If we have so many loops, we can take down the network, right? We don't want that to happen, right? And the way we can mitigate this problem is with spanning tree. But the problem with spanning tree is it brings up these ports and makes these ports go into like these different modes, like it'll listen in for, see if there's any loops happening, any kind of collisions and stuff like that, and then turn on the ports, right? But it takes a while for those ports to turn on, right? Well, the way to go around that problem is by kind of turning it off with the spanning tree feature called port fast. So it basically turns the port up fast, right? Aptly named, right? So let's go ahead and do that, right? So we are in global configuration for modes for both of these ports, right? So we just do spanning tree, all that explanation for just one goddamn command, right? I'm sorry, y'all, but so we just do spanning tree. I know there's somebody in here like, I already know this, man. Spanning tree. I'll show you, right? Here's all the features we can do. We can do BPU guard, link type. This is what we're looking for. Enable an interface to move directly to forwarding on link up, right? So basically it's just gonna bring it to port really fast. And I like how they named it, port fast. Port fast, press enter. Y'all hit me with that like button. And notice we'll get this warning here too. Port fast has been configured for FA02. I don't know why I didn't do it for also 03. I'm pretty sure it did, right? I'm pretty sure it did. Yes, it did, right there as well. It just did, it gave it to us twice. But will only have an effect when the interface is in a non-trunking mode. Well, it isn't in a non-trunking mode. Remember, we hard-coded it as an access port. Port fast should only be enabled on ports connected to a single host. Well, we do. We only have one host, this server right here, right? This guy is doing the cabbage patch right there, right? And then he says, connecting hubs, concentrators, switches, bridges, etc. to this interface when port fast is enabled could cause temporary bridging loops, which is what I just mentioned about 20 seconds ago. You could potentially have loops if spanning tree is turned off, right? We didn't turn off spanning tree, but we put these modes, we put these ports in port fast mode, which essentially turns off spanning tree. So it's like, be careful now. If you put this in port fast, there could be a loop that can happen here. Make sure that you only have a host on the other end, right? So we do have just a host here, but we do have a device here, but that's layer 3 device, and it's a router. So they ain't gonna that ain't gonna cause no loops, right? So what he said last week, I caused a loop at my job's lab. Oh crap, are you serious? Damn, Gonzalo, how the hell did you do that? Whole thing went down. Was that in production or just in testing? We got Anderson Tech repairing a building. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Let us know what happened, man. Don't worry about that, because I made a mistake last night, actually, after last night's stream. So before we finish this live, right? Quick story. I set some routers, or actually 2 switches, to upgrade to iOS, right? And then I set it to reload at 10 o'clock, which is right about after my stream, right? So, and I did that at work, right? They both rebooted, only one of them came back up. And I'm like, fuck. I had to actually take a trip out to the site. Yes, last night, at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So drove out to the site, went to, I had to find out where the switch was. I couldn't even, I didn't know where this was, but I finally was able to find it. It was exactly where I thought it was, but it was hidden all the way at the top of the rack, right? Got there and saw a number of amber lights on the switch, consoled into it, and it said, like, what did it say? It said, this switch is unusable. It said in all caps, too. I was like, holy shit, what happened? And then there was no running configuration on it, no startup configuration on it, but the iOS did upgrade. So I was like, okay, well, let me at least put some basic configuration on it, so that way I can at least get it on the network, configure TACACS, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then right when I tried to copy and paste some configs on it, because I had some backup configs on it, tried to do that, and the software crashed. I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I unplugged it, replugged it, and boom, all the running configuration came up, the iOS came up, and it was all good to go. So that was an easy fix, but nonetheless, I had to take a trip last night, so that sucked, man. So Gonzalo, I know you said you made a mistake, but we all make mistakes, man. I'm like, I haven't even been here a year working as a network engineer and stuff like that, but we all make mistakes, man. You could be like 20 years into your career, we're going to make mistakes. So the more mistakes you make, you got to look at that as experiences, man. So let us know what happened, man, just like I did, right? So that was task 2. Task 3, final task. Assuming that the DHCP server is configured correctly, configure router 1, so this guy right here, to receive an IP address via DHCP. Verify that router 1 has received an automatic configuration via DHCP. You can easily configure DHCP settings on a router or packet tracer server, which we covered earlier. So basically, y'all know what DHCP is, right? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. All devices on the network need IP addresses to communicate, right? Well, how do they get these IP addresses? We can actually go on there, right? Bloop, and then push interface, blah, 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 and then give them an IP address, right? But if we got 500 routers or 500, computers, we can't, that's too much manual labor for us to actually, that's just too much labor to actually put in an IP address for all these devices. Well, we do it automatically with a service called DHCP, right? Well, that's where this DHCP service comes in, right? This guy right here comes in, right? So we go to services. Actually, let's give him an IP address, first of all, right? We got to give him an IP address of 192.168.20.1, right? So let's do that. Go to desktop, IP config. His IP address is 192.168.20.1, right? Subnet mask is already there. When we tab over, right, we'll give him the default gateway 192.168.20.1 as well. I guess we'll give him a DNS server, whatever. 192, same thing, 192.20.1, right? So that's his IP address. Now we got to configure the DHCP pool, right? Basically a pool of IP addresses that we're going to hand out to anybody that asks for one, right? Well, who's going to ask for one? This guy right here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to set him up to request one. Actually, let's do that first. We are going to go to, no, let's not do that. Let's do that. Let's configure the pool, and then we're going to go back over there and ask for an IP address, right? So we go to services, right? DHCP, and I have got videos on all this shit right here. Just go on my channel, you'll see I got a whole bunch of, I got a video on HTTP services, TFTP, DNS, all that stuff, man. So just go on my channel. Y'all hit me with the subscribe button too. Go to services, right? Which one we looking for? DHCP, right? We got to make sure the DHCP services is on, for one, right? Then let's call this the bruh pool, I guess. Bruh pool 5. I don't know. I'm just being random here. All right, the default gateway, we're going to let everybody know when they, not only will they receive an IP address, they're going to also receive a default gateway. What's the default gateway? That's going to be the device that's going to allow them to go on the internet if they need to. They're going to say, you need to go out of the internet? Here is the default gateway you need to go to, which is going to be me in this case. But this is a small network. We don't have an internet here. This is just for, to explain the process, right? So 192.168.20.1. We're going to say your DNS server is also 192.168.20.1, right? What's the pool of IP addresses we're going to be handing out? What network? What subnet? It's going to be the 20.0 subnet, right? But here's the thing. We're going to say from what's the start IP address? I don't want to give away .1 because I am .1, right? 192.168.20.1. I don't want to give out that IP address because we could potentially cause a duplicate IP address to occur, right? So don't start at .0. Don't start at .1. Let's start out handing addresses from .2. So the next one obviously is going to be .3, 4, 5, etc., 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 right? So start handing out IP addresses from 2 on up, right? That we can leave this by default, and then we can save our work, right? With the save button, I think server pool cannot be modified. A new pool will be added. All right, cool. So add that IP address. That is the pool, bruh pool 5, right? So we created a DHCP pool. Hopefully that works. Let's go to router 1. We're going to enable this port. Well, we're going to, yeah. What else do we need to do to that port? Basically enable it and then request an IP address. So we're going to go to global config mode, enable, right? And then global config mode, or privileged exec mode is what they call it, right? That's the official name for it. For anybody that's taking the exam. Let's see, stick of the day. I've been missing. I'm sorry, I haven't been paying attention, y'all. He said, yeah, we all make mistakes for sure. Nobody's perfect. We can all make mistakes. I was messing with vSphere. I'm trying to set up my IPS on inline mode. I forgot to connect the interfaces in different VLANs. As soon as I plugged in my PC, I sent some traffic. A layer 2 loop happened. I guess I gave you some flashbacks there when I was talking about layer 2 loops, right? Damn, tomorrow will be our first month at this job. I'm a super newbie, man. It's all good, man. Like I said, I've been at my job 8 months, and last night, just know how to fix the problem. That's what you want to try to at least know, and at least you were able to identify the problem too. That's another good thing too. Damn, tomorrow. Okay, so stick of the day. Authorized accounts must be assigned the least privileged level necessary to perform assigned duties, right? That's also known as least, I forgot what there's another way to call it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. We want to give everybody the least amount of privileges that we can, right? Because we don't want to give everybody admin rights, right? Because then everybody can do anything on the routers and switches in our networking infrastructure, right? So we want to give them the least amount as possible, right? We can do this with Active Directory groups. We can do that with even just local accounts on our routers and switches and stuff like that. TACACs and stuff like that. What else? Configure authorized accounts with the least privilege rule. That's what they call it. That's what I was looking for. Least privilege rule. Each user will have access to only the privileges they require perform their assigned duties. Exactly. We don't want to give the CEO, like you said, admin rights to every device on the network, right? We want to give them just enough for to perform their job duties. So, like he said, that's called the least privilege rule. Thanks to Professor Blackops for the stick of the day. Y'all know what that is, right? Security technical implementation guide for any of you guys that want to get into cybersecurity or work for the Department of Defense and that stuff like that. Know your STIGs, basically. Keep grinding. You have a bright future. Yep, for sure. That'll do. Today was missing some real malware, dropping some ransomware. I hope you was doing that on some VMs, man. These man talking about dropping some real malware and stuff, man. Oh, it's all good though. So now we're going to have this router request an IP address. This router is going to request an IP address from that guy. How do we do that? We go to global config mode, interface GI 000, right? And we say IP address. Instead of manually typing the IP address, we just do DHCP, right? That's going to allow him to request an IP address. But we also have to turn it up. Interface GI 000, right? We do a no shut. Notice that it's red right now, right? Right. We do no shut. That should bring up the port. And theoretically, we should ask for an IP address. Get on our knees, pray to the network gods. If we do let's do a show IP interface brief. You see it is up. It is set to DHCP, but it takes a while, right? We got spanning tree that could happen here, but it's not blocking yet. It's not blocking. All right, let's see. We got a message here. Enable. Yeah, it's not blocking. Show span. All right. VLAN 100 is forwarding. What else we want to check here? Another thing we could do, because see, if we had an IP address, it would be right here. Right now it's unassigned. So I think the only other thing we could do is turn off the services and then turn it back on. That's the only thing I can think of. So let's give it a couple minutes here. Sometimes packet tracer like to think that, or we could put it in simulation mode and see. I'm gonna do this. Let me make sure he stays on top while I focus, or while I work on the DHCP server. So stay on top, pause, go to the server. Where we going to? DHCP. I'm gonna turn off the services, turn it back on, see if that makes a difference. Cause he hasn't requested one yet. It don't look like. Let's do a show IP interface brief again. Nope, unassigned still, unassigned still. Let's see. Let's say turn off, turn it on. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but it does take a while sometimes. I hope your backup game tight. That malware can rip through a network. Facts, man. Like I said, I hope either your backup game or you doing all that experimentation with malware on some VMs, man. Show IP interface brief. He still hasn't gotten an IP address yet. Looks like we have some troubleshooting to do here, right? Let's see. What else we need to check for? Let's verify that the switch. I'm pretty sure those interfaces are up. Pretty sure those interfaces are up. Let's see. Let's see. Show interface status. 02 and 0. He's on top. So where we at here? Where are we at? Oh, that's the problem. See there? Look at there. Only FA02 is in VLAN 100. That 03 need to be in 100 as well. That's in VLAN 1. See? You see? That's the issue. That's got to be an issue. Let me see. Let me scoot it over. Let me verify. Yes. You see what I did, y'all? I put those two ports in VLAN 100. So only 02 right now is in VLAN 100. We need to make sure 03 is in VLAN 100. Glad I caught that mistake, right? So, and this is why I like live streaming, man. Not everything's gonna be perfect. Y'all can see my mistakes. I'm showing my mistakes in the world, and y'all, when y'all see this is stuff you'll remember to look at, right? These show commands and things like that, right? So let's go to global config mode. Interface FA03, and put that port in VLAN 100. Switch port, access VLAN 100, right? You see, because when I used to do those tutorials, I used to edit all my mistakes out, and those, you see all those jump cuts and shit like that when I'm over here talking and stuff. This is just raw and uncut, man. So now we're seeing spanning tree, right? Let me show the spanning tree sports. So see how it's amber right now, right? So span is going through. See, now that port is in learning stage. Run it again. It's still in learning, and I'll give you guys, now it's forwarding. So now it's forwarding, and that's why it's green. Now let's take a look at router 1. Did he get an IP address yet? It don't look like it. Might have to do some more troubleshooting. So IP interface brief. You know what we can do? We can do a shut, no shut, right? So just shut the port down, bring it back up, and then make a request for DHCP. We can do that as well. Go to global config mode. Interface GI 000. What he said, I have snapshots of my VMs, and I always make sure the network adapter is disconnected before doing it. That's what's up, man. You playing with fire over there, man. This man going raw dog with them VMs over there, man. Let's see, shut, right? I'm gonna shut this guy down. I'm gonna do a no shut, and hopefully we get an IP address, man. Let's see. Let's see. Go back to the server. Another thing too is we're gonna make sure services is on. We make sure FA02 and 3 is in. Let's see. Show interface status. Make sure those are in VLAN 100. They are. They are both set to access ports, right? Do a show run real quick. I know I told y'all to stay away from server 1, but let's see. They are both in port fast mode. They're access VLAN 100. What else did we want to do here? What else did we want to do to verify? Let's see. He still didn't make a request yet. Did he? Nope. Let's do this. Let's go to the switch. Off. on. Go back to the router. Let's see. Come on, man. Come on, bruh. Looks like we got some more troubleshooting to do. Funny thing is, I did a practice run before this, and it worked. So, I know that, I know Packet Tracer can sometimes have bugs, but I've seen this work before. So, let's see. We'll see. Y'all have any ideas? Am I missing anything? Let's look at the lab book and see what he said what else I needed to do. In case you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the lab book we're using. 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this from 101labs.net, or there's a link in the description box below. Task number 3. Assuming that it's configured correctly, configure router 1's FA00, which in my case is GI00, to receive an IP address via DCP. Let's see. There you go, right there. Look how long it took, man. I didn't do anything different, man. Look at it. He's kidding me, man. I guess Packet Tracer was being realistic here. I don't know. It don't take that damn long for a DHCP address to make a request. Whatever. But look, you see, we got this little message right here. DHCP level 6 message, right? Remember, it'll be a message from either 0, meaning catastrophic, sound the alarm, call the cops, like something's going on this network, versus level 7 message, so it's gonna be a range from 0 to 7. This is a level 6, right? So 7 is for debugging. 6 is just informational, like let you know somebody got an IP address, right? What is it? The message address assigned to GI00, assigned DHCP address 192.168.20.2. There's the mask. There's the host name. So we can verify that with what? Show IP interface brief, our favorite command. And there it is. He got the IP address 20.2. Remember, because we didn't want to hand out 20.1 because the server was going to be 20.1. He's up, and he requested it via DHCP. Good to go. Lab number, what's the next lab? That was a quick one, man. Only 3 tasks, man. Lab number D, letter D rather. Let's see what he said. When you see the log message GACP6 address assigned, you know that your device has been assigned an IP address via DCP. Good. Verify that the interface specified is the one you've configured for DHCP. It was. Oh, you could do show DHCP server. I didn't know you could do that. Let's see. I've never seen that command. Show DHCP server. Yeah, see, Packet Tracer doesn't support it. Y'all know that's why I like using either EvenG or real hardware. So it doesn't support it. But that's one command that we could check for. Let me see. From the output above, you can see the DHCP server provided 2 DNS servers, as well as by the line DNS 0. So that's interesting. All right. So Lab D is to configure command aliases on iOS devices. Now I heard about the alias command. I've never really used it before, so this is gonna be new to me too. Basically, you know how, like, let's say you don't know the command to look up the interfaces and whether it's requesting through DHCP and to see if it's up, whatever. You can come up with another name for show IP interface brief. Like, you can come up with a name like, I don't know, show me interfaces or something like that. I don't know, just whatever. You can come up with an alias for this command right here. And just in case you don't remember, show IP interface brief. But if you've been doing this shit, you're going to remember that command. That's one of the most important commands when you're a network engineer, right? So what he said, be careful. We had malware jump out the guest host on VMware to the other host on that server. So we dropped all guest hosts and re-image the entire server. Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying, man. You over here experiment with malware on VMs on a production network, man. You playing with fire, man. You over here raw dogging it right now, man. Just be chill, man. Like I said, it's better. That's why I like to keep my home lab off the grid, man. But like you said, just be careful. So Packet Tracer does not support the aliases command, so I'm gonna go ahead and launch EvenG. I think we're done with Packet Tracer. Y'all got any questions on the DHCP command on DHCP lab? I think I tried to explain much as I can. If y'all have any questions, hit me up on the Discord server. If you like too embarrassed to be like, what does DHCP stand for again? Or if you don't know how to Google it, I don't care, man. I answer the most simplest questions. Last night I was helping my man, come up with, trying to TFTP and iOS on his old ass router, but we did it anyway, right? I've been there before when I needed help and I didn't really know much. So That's what I'm here for. And just ask away. That's the link to the Discord server. That's the invite in case you want to, like private, send me a DM or whatever. Or what else? I typically stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? If I end up canceling a stream or something like that, which I rarely ever do, or if I have some bonus streams I want to do on the weekends, I will let you know on the Discord server. So make sure y'all join that Discord server. If y'all ain't have no questions on DHCP, I'm going to close this lab, launch up even G. Oh, by the way, check this out, y'all. I want to show y'all this. So I was telling my boss about, what was I telling him about? About a lab that we was working with the other day, right? And I told y'all this yesterday. Yeah, so he helped me, he explained to me what the routes and what, it was a static route lab, right? And he kind of explained to me and stuff like that. So he said, if you want, I'll come up with some labs for you to do and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. Man, this motherfucker, he gave me a lab, like, it's got like 20 routers, like 20 routers on it. And I got to configure this stuff. He didn't give me a timeline or anything like that, but he said it's just mostly for static routes. And he gave me these rules. No default routes can be used. Only static routes can be used, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is why I like working with this guy, man. So he's like challenging me and stuff like that. He gave me the whole layer 2 network. That's what I'm responsible for now. I just got kind of like, I guess, promoted to that as my responsibilities and stuff like that. But I told him, man, I want to do more layer 3 stuff, man. I want to do EIGRP. I want to do the shit that I'm teaching y'all, right? And he's like, calm your horses, man. Calm down, man. Like, you need to, crawl before you walk kind of stuff. So he's starting to give me some labs and stuff to work with. I'm going to launch that up in GNS3. When I get a chance, when I'm able to fully understand it and configure it and stuff like that, I'll share it with you guys, and maybe I'll live stream it and stuff like that. So the next lab is Lab D, page 539 if you got the book. I hope you got the book. If not, there's a link in the description box of this video. Let's launch up not GNS3, even G. Endrit said DORA stands for... Good question, Endrit. What does DORA stand for? Isn't that a cartoon? No. DORA is the process for DHCP, right? The entire process. So I wish I didn't close that lab, and I'll show you. But when you have a host that needs... Remember, we said all devices in the network need an IP address to communicate on layer 3, right? When it makes a request... It goes through this process called, well, the easiest way to remember this DORA, like the cartoon, DORA Explorer, right? D, it makes a discover. It sends a discover message to see if there's any DHCP servers on the network, right? When it finds one and the server gets it, the server's going to see that discover request, and then he's going to offer him, send him an offer message, and be like, hey, here's an IP address, here's a default gateway, here's a DNS server, here's an option 150, here's, all this other information. Do you like it? The PC is going to get that information, and he's going to be like, okay, I like that. He gave me a DHCP server, he gave me a default gateway, he gave me a DNS server, he gave me all these other options. He gave me a lease time when this IP address is going to expire. I like this information. So he's going to make a request. That's where the R comes in. Sends a request back to that DHCP server. The DHCP server is going to receive it, acknowledge it, right, and be like, oh, okay, so he does like this. He does like that IP address. He does like the subnet mask. He likes the the DNS server. He likes the lease time. I gave him about 5 days before he got to release that shit. He's got he's like all this information. So he acknowledged it. That's where the A comes in, and that's how we remember. That's how the DHCP process works. And the easiest way to remember it is DORA, D-O-R-A, discover, offer, request, acknowledge. So we're going to do the lab. Did I do one? I don't think I did one. No, I'm going to do a new one, right? So new lab. We said this one is called, well, good question, Endrit. Joe Rockhead got it. Discover, offer, request, accept. Shout out to Joe for remembering that one. Joe, acknowledge to be more specific. Yes, exactly. It's acknowledge, not necessarily accept. But, yeah, I guess they could be the same thing, right? Accept. Because he does accept it, but it's really acknowledged. What we said? Shit. Oh, that's what I was going to do. If y'all want to look at it. I'm going to share that lab with y'all if y'all want. That my boss gave me. But it's pretty huge, man. It's got like 20 routers on it. I'm like, I don't even know if my laptop could take that, man. We need a server to run this shit. Okay, so Lab D is configuring. Let's do this. Let's do that. Paste and then get rid of this right here. Configuring command aliases, right? User is not authenticated. Oh, Interesting. Let me log out. Log back in. New lab. Boom. Get rid of this. Save. Good. All right, so let's drag and drop 2 devices. What is it? Only need a router for this for now, right? Any switch or router, because the next lab is going to be 2 routers. So, because I want to do the next lab as well. Let's just drag and drop 2 routers. Let's do that. VIO, right? We'll do 1 router, and he's going to be R1. R1. Oh, duh. That's the number of routers. He going to be R1 right here. R1. R1. Save. And then drag another router. Yeah, well, a router. And he gonna be R2. Where he at? Right here. R2. Right? And that's what our next lab is gonna be. Just back-to-back routers, just like that. Cable them up. Bloop. Bloop. Save. I'm starting to like Even G, man. Shout out to Indrit for helping me out with this, man, because I'm like, man, listen, man, I like my hardware. This thing is starting to, let's see, start that bad boy. Start that bad boy. Go ahead and cable them up just like that, back to back. But we only need to work with 1 router right now because we're going to work with aliases. Again, alias is just another way to come up with something, right? Because you know how, like, let's say, for example, to save your work on a router, right, you got to do what? Copy, run, start, which is short for what? Copy, running configuration, startup configuration, right? A lot of shit to type, right? When all you're doing is save, right? So let's say we come up with an alias for copy, run, start, and just say, if I want to save my work, save, and type in save, and it saves it, right? That sounds like a more like sensible command, right? So I'm gonna console into him. Is he awake yet? I guess not. He's waking up. Joe Rocket said, "You are correct. Thank God we are using Even G again." Kobe, man, you ain't telling me you didn't like my hardware, man. Like I'm sad now, man. I was like, I done dusted off my 1841s over here, man. These other routers have been sitting in my garage for a while, and I'm just now like starting to lab on a consistent basis and stuff like that. And now you're like, thank God, man. I guess they were kind of loud. They were loud. Is he waking up yet? Is router 1 waking up yet? What's going on? There you go, right there. There you go. I guess in the meantime, I'll go ahead and power up router 2. And is he powered on though? Yes, he is. All right. So while he is going, let me close this bad boy. Boom, boom, boom. He's waking up. And this man hate my my hardware over here. So lab D, the objective of this lab is for us to learn how to configure, use aliases. Like I said, I've never really used aliases before. I just try to remember the fucking commands. But I guess aliases is a fundamental skill. Like I said, are customized names assigned to Cisco ILS commands that can be used in place of long commands. Just like I said. So instead of typing copy, running configuration, startup configuration, you can change all of that shit to save. So I guess that makes sense. As an engineer, as well as in the exam, you must be expected to know how to configure and use aliases. I doubt that, but whatever. I think it's useful in the, click no here, I've been impatient here. It's useful in production, but I doubt they're going to ask you a question about aliases on the CCNA exam, but whatever. So configure the following aliases on your device. The alias he wants for show IP interface brief, which is one that we did earlier in the previous lab, right? Show IPS interface brief, right? We got four, I guess, words in this command, this long command here, right? They want us to shorten it with the word INT, which I guess means interface, right? So show me information about the interfaces. Let's change him to, he's waking up, and he got some CPU hog messages, and this is why I need a server. Let's go to global config mode. Let's change him to R1. And he said the alias for show IP interface brief. I think you do aliases with just alias, right? Yes, alias. And then how do I do this? Because I've never used the alias command before, right? Oh, geez, that's a lot. Can you do alias and then run the command? Is that what you got to do? So alias show. No, I don't know. Is it? I think it's exec, right? I think it's exec. No, because watch this. Hold on. Alias E, and then I'm gonna see all the E commands because I think that's what if I remember correctly. Yes. See, it's right there at the end, but he don't say what it is. But I think that's what you got to do. You got, if I remember correctly, it's alias and then exec. And I don't remember. You know what? I'm gonna have to go. That's why I like the book. There is a solution guide, and I'm not gonna front like I know every fucking command. So let's go to the book. Lab D says configure. You go to global config mode, then you do alias. I knew it was exec. So it is alias exec, and then you got to type in what you want to name it as, and then what it equals, if that makes any sense, right? So if I want to save show IP interface brief as int, you do alias exec, and then the new command, and then the old command, right? So in this case, alias exec, and then he said int, right? Question mark, new alias. See that? So I'm gonna show you again. Alias exec, right? And then word, the alias name. What are you gonna name it? I'm gonna say int. That is equal to show IP interface brief, right? We do that. So now if I just type in what, int, now that shows, see how that works? That's pretty useful. That is pretty useful. But to do that on every, like, see, there's like, so at work, I deal with, just at the layer 2 level, I've got 300 devices, right? How would I be able to bring those aliases to every device? This is something that's done locally. That's why I don't know how this is useful. If anybody knows an easier way for me to be able to use these aliases across 300 devices that, like, say at work. Show alias. Oh, Joe Rockhead. I didn't know that one. Show. Oh, well, that's what it said in the book too, though. Show alias. And it shows me all my aliases. Good to know. So this is the one we just configured. Show IP interface brief is equal to int. Shout out to Joe Rockhead for that one. That's a good one. See, yeah, I didn't really know much about alias command. I heard about them, but I was like, it's just better to just do them, right? So LO for log out, etc. Can I give y'all a little side story about log out or even log and LO? So y'all know, okay, so June, what is that? June, let's say June, I don't remember the exact date. June 1969, right? That's when the internet was invented, right? And when they tried to send a message across the internet, it was basically one host versus another host. So it's really a point-to-point network, right? We had one host, I think, in UCLA and the other one in Stanford, right? And these two guys, or two, like, they were like pretty much computer programmers at each site, was trying to send a message across the internet, right? At the time, it was called ARPANET. So we only had 2 devices on the ARPANET, right? And the message that they were trying to send across the ARPANET was the word log. It was actually log in, right? They were trying to type in LOGIN, right? So when he typed in letter L, it went across, right? He said, "What's happening, bro? I'm about to order the CCNP book by Bob Browning for $29.99. Is this the best price?" $29.99 is a great price because I thought it was like $40. So yeah, that is awesome, man. Let me know if that was the link in the description box of my video. I don't even know, but I know that $30 is a damn good price because if I remember, I bought this book for $40. So wherever you're getting it from, unless that's the Amazon Prime price, I don't know. But anyways, back to that story. So when they were trying to send a message across the internet, they were trying to type in the word log in, right? So the first scientist or the computer programmer, he typed in the word L, right? He typed L and it went across the not internet, the ARPANET as it was called at the time. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got the message. I got the letter L. I see it. It came across the screen. Okay, perfect, great." So he typed the letter O, and it went across the ARPANET, and the other guy and the other host, he saw it. It was at UCLA, and I think it was Stanford, if I remember correctly. Y'all don't have to fact check me on that one. And then the other guy was like, "Yeah, I got the letter O as well. He said, I see an L, I see an O, and then he tried to type in the letter G so that way they complete the word, right? Login for login, right? He typed in the letter G, and boom, the system just crashed. So the only thing they were able to get across was LO across the internet, right? So that's a real fun fact for y'all in case y'all didn't even know, right? So, but again, that's back in the day when they first like invented the internet. It was like back in 1969. It was called ARPANET. You can Google that shit. So, but anyways, just reminded me about that when I saw this LO. So I guess when you type in LO, it actually logs you out. Didn't know that alias. What's the last two aliases they want us to do? There was like 3 more aliases actually. Where is it? Where is it? My bad, y'all. I went over the damn story about the fucking history of the internet. Oh, the exact command that I was telling you. Copy, run, start. So copy, running configuration, startup configuration. They want us to say that as the word save. So that's an easier one, right? So go to global config mode, alias. What was the old command? No, you got to do exec. And then the old command, which in this case is... No, the new command, which is going to be save. And then what do we want to do? We said it's going to be copy, run. Oh, so you actually got to type it in, don't you? Let's see, copy. Let me verify. Yes, the new alias. So, oh, first of all, let me see how you did it. It's the old alias and then the new alias, right? Yeah, it's the old one. No, it's the new one and then the old one, which is what I did. New one is going to be called save. Old one is copy running hyphen config to what? Start up hyphen config. Enter. We do a show aliases like Joe Rocket said, right? Show aliases. And there it is right there. So copy running config start. I forgot the Y, so hopefully that works, right? So now if I type in the word save, press enter, and now it's gonna copy run start. So I press enter and it saved my work. Beautiful. The last one was PROC. They want that alias to be for show processes CPU. It's basically going to show us, what level of how much CPU is being used, right? The processor on the actual router, right? So we do show. We'll show you the command first, right? Show processes CPU. That lets us know how much of the CPU of the router is being used, right? In this case, about 13%. Interesting, 13%. We haven't really done shit on this router, right? So it shows us all the processes there. Instead of typing all of that, we're just going to type in the word PROC, right? So in this case, global config mode, alias, exec. It's a pretty useful command. I like this one, man, but I never really used it. Good to know it, though. Alias exec, proc, and then the old one was show processes CPU. I guess you ain't got to type it all. Do a show alias, and there it is right there, that last one. So now when we just type in proc, it should show us the CPU, right? PROC. And there we go. Good to go. That was Lab D, man. That was easy enough, man. Lab E. Let me see, how many we got? We got E, then we got F, then we got G, and then we're done with this book. Isn't that amazing, man? 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. Get a copy of this from 101labs.net, or like my man, who said that? Who said that? Somebody in there said, oh, Creed9 said he got it for $29.99 on Amazon. So that's an awesome price right there. But I think the link, let me know that link in the description box of this video, if that gives you the same price. I don't know. I don't even remember, but I know that it's an affiliate link. So he said, I've never heard of the alias command, and I have a CCNA, Morgan Lucas. Listen, man, I heard of it, but I've never really used it, Morgan, so don't feel bad. And this is why I'm going back to the fundamentals. I have a CCNA, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned from this book, man. So it's always good to go back in fundamentals, man, like Tim Duncan. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Was my education alive? It's all good, man. It is all good, bro. Nah, bro, you're good. It's better to config with default commands than aliases, because if you config on different routers, you don't have aliases. Exactly, Andrew. Which is why I was wondering if there's a way to take these aliases and put them across the board on your network. I don't know, maybe you can do that through TACACS, or if you could push maybe you could push a Python script to do all of that. But then, like you said, you're going to start forgetting these commands, and you think, oh, save is how you save on a router, on a Cisco router. No, it's copy running configuration, startup configuration, right? So you want to try, I guess, I don't want to say you want to stay away from the alias command, but in a pinch, if you want to do stuff quickly, like, it's better to just do the tab, right? You can only just do like copy, run, start. That's short enough. Like, you do really need just a shorter commands than that, like Jesus. But I guess it's useful, so whatever. Lab C, I'm sorry, lab, what lab is this? Lab E, configuring local name resolution on Cisco iOS devices. So go ahead and drag and drop 2 routers, just like this right here. Bloop. Right, those 2 routers. The objective of this lab is for us to learn how to configure name resolution. Y'all know what name resolution is, right? It's also known as domain name services. Domain name services, right? Where we configure a host name to an IP address, right? Or map a host name to an IP address, right? I think that's what you're doing here, right? Yes, it is. So, if anybody has any questions about, your link is $39.99. Oh, interesting. So I don't know. Maybe if that is a, let me know the where you got it from. Is that an Amazon Prime price? I don't know, but, or share that link with us. Shit, for $30, man. That's a great price, man. And I'm not trying to like, I don't get like extra commission like that or anything like that. So I don't know how you have a link for $30 and my link is $39.99. So I'm not trying to make some money off y'all like that, but that's a good price. If you can let us know, like, let me see. I'm gonna have to Google that shit, man. Let me see. I'm not that I don't believe you, but that's great for if you can get it for $29.99, because then I'll buy that shit now. So what he said, what is it? 101 CCNP. I just want to see y'all. You said you got it for $30. That's Kindle, man. That's why, man. I ain't got no damn Kindle. Get out of here with that, man. It's actually $50 for the book. Let's see. Yeah, if you got a Kindle, I guess that's fine. But y'all know I like physical hardware, and I like to have the damn book in my hand. So that's probably why. Not only that, I remember this book being $39.99. So I am giving y'all a deal. What the hell? Yeah, it's an Amazon Prime discount. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I ain't got Prime, so yeah. All right, good to know. See, I ain't playing y'all, man. That's just the Prime price. So for a second, I thought you thought I was trying to make some money off y'all like that, but it's all good. All right, so task 1, configure host name on the router. We already did that, right? He's router 1, and hopefully the other guy is router 2, right? Let's see. Is he router 2? Is he router 2? Well, he hadn't even been woken up yet, so no, he's not. Nope. So yeah, DNS Services, again, is how we map an IP address to a name, right? So like, us as humans, we don't remember IP addresses unless you're a goddamn computer, right? Too many remember, right? For example, let's say, I don't know, BurgerKing.com, their IP address for their website is, I don't know, 204.74.85.6, right? Too much to remember. It's easy to just type in BurgerKing.com to get to that site, right? That's what DNS Services allows us to do. Map host names or URLs to IP addresses, right? We can do the same thing with this. So instead of typing the IP address for router 2, I guess we can just type in router 2 and boom, get onto it, right? So that's, I think, what we're going to do here. Configuring name resolution on iOS devices is a fundamental skill. Name resolution can be used to provide host names to layer 3 address mapping instead of DNS services. It is typically used in small networks with a few internet work devices. He really didn't do much on this. We got 5 tasks for this lab. Let's knock this one out. Let's change him to router 2, host name R2. We're at the hour mark now, so y'all let me know if y'all want to take a break, but y'all know I want to knock this book out so that way we can get to the CCNP book, man. I'm gonna try to get that study sheet to you guys that I'm working on, right, for CCNP and RC and Encore. What else am I gonna do? I need to sign up for the exam, just to put some pressure on me. Configure the host name. Let me put in case y'all ain't got no book. Let me get some. Let's get some mapping here. Is there a zoom in button? Yes, it's right there. Let's get some labeling here. He is gonna be 192.168.254.2. So text. He is 192.168.254.1/29. We'll put the font a little bit bigger. He's 254.1. And then let's duplicate that and make him 254.2. Y'all with me so far? And he's 254.2. And then what else we needed to do? Let me duplicate that and we're gonna put 2 loopbacks on router 2, right? I'm gonna put 2 loopbacks on router 2. I'm gonna put them over here like this, right? He gonna be loop 0 is 10.0.0.3/24, and then loopback 1 is gonna be 10.1.1.3/24. Now see, this is the type of whatchamacallit that I like to work with. Paul Browning, classful subnets, not no goddamn /28 or 27 and /14 and all this, man. Fuck with us, man. I want to edit this, make him bold, go that way, save that. So we got those loopbacks over here. Y'all with me so far? Any questions? He said, yes, an Amazon Prime book. He said he bought the book. It's fat and it's fly. That's what's up, man. You bought the CCNP book or the CCNA book? Because like I said, we're wrapping up this book. This is the CCNA one. So if you want to look at the stuff that we did when we covered this book, you're going to have to look at the past streams. I'm not going to obviously go over this book again. So maybe on my own time I'll do that, but I'm not going to live stream it. I'm going to live stream the CCNP version of it. So a lot more difficult topics, bigger topologies, new technologies that's going to be introduced to us and stuff like that. So again, we're going to be going to a little bit more. Good night, y'all. I'm about to sleep. It's 3 a.m. here, man. But appreciate you for tuning in, Endrit, man, all the way from Kosovo. Yeah, appreciate you for tuning in and appreciate your help tonight. So task 2, we did labeling, right? Oh, we got to do the IP addressing. So let me go ahead and go on the interfaces and configure those IP addresses, right? So GI00 is going to have this IP address. GI00 on that one is going to have that IP address, right? So let's go to router 1 and go to global config mode. Maybe we should come up with an alias for global config T, right? Let's say fix. Let's do that. Just so I remember, just so I can use that command, right? Exec fix. And then it's going to be configure terminal, right? Get out of this. So now if I want to fix this router, that puts us in global config mode, right? Interesting. Interface GI00, his IP address is 192.168.254.1/29 is 254.255.248, right? Anybody any questions so far or anything? Let me know. No such thing as a dumb question. What else they wanted to do? They wanted to do some clocking and stuff like that, but we don't have serial interfaces, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's go to router 2 and configure that IP address. Interface GI00. His IP address is... yeah, see, I didn't do the alias on this one. See? You got to do that on each one. 192.168... Oops. 168.254.2/29 is 2.248, right? No, shut that bad boy, right? I should be able to ping from router 1 to router 2, right? So let's go ahead and do that ping. 192.168.254. I'm starting to like this EVNG, man. Ping that, and we're good to go. Okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. I ain't got these loud ass routers going in my head right now. I like that. I like that. All right, so configure router 1 with a static default route pointing to router 3. He said router 3. It's actually router 2 in my case. So in the book, he's router 1 and he's router 3. Don't know why he did that, but he's been doing that for the past couple in this book right here. So it's all good. Static default route pointing from router 1 to router 3, or router 2 in my case. Next, configure the 2 loopbacks on router 2. So we got to do a static default route, and then we got to configure these loopbacks. I guess we're already on router 2, so let's go ahead and configure those loopbacks, right? Let's go configure the loopbacks so I don't forget them. Because last time I remember forgetting them in one of these streams, right? Interface loopback 0. His IP address is 10.0.0.3 .3 /24 255.255.255.0. You see, I need to fix the damn logging synchronous. I need to remove that. No shut that bad. Well, he's already up, so I ain't gotta worry about no shutting it. Interface loopback 1. His IP address. See, I don't like that. IP address is 10.1.1.3. We need to fix that with logging synchronous, right? 255.255.255.0. Exit out of that. Line console 0. I'm gonna say logging synchronous to stop all of that shit that's been going on. Let's do our alias too, right? Fix, right? Alias exec fix is the same thing as configure terminal, right? So now when I say fix, I need to fix this router. All right, so y'all got any questions or anything so far? Let me know. Task 3. Oh, we did loopbacks. We need to do the default route still on router 1. Router 1. Default route. Exit out of this. IP route. The default route is, let's take a look at the routing table first, right? So y'all can see, right? Show IP route. So we remember, we only know about the 192.168.254.0 network. So we know about this network right here, right? IP, let's go to global fix, right? Fix. IP route quad 0. I guess take the next hop. I'm gonna do the next hop this time because 168.254.2. Right, so now any unknown traffic that you get coming in ingress, send it out that interface, but send it to the next hop right here. So unknown traffic that's coming in, send it to the next hop right here, and then this router should know what the hell to do with it. So that means if I need to get to these loopbacks back here, send the traffic out to GI0 to that next hop, and then router 2 should know what to do with it because he knows about the loopback networks, right? The 10 networks. So now we look at our routing table, show IP routes. There goes our whatchamacallit, our static route, right? So what else we need to do here? That was task 3. We did loopbacks. We did the static default route. We only got 5 tasks. We're on task 4. Configure local host name resolution on router 1 for router 3, loopback 0 and loopback 1. Use the IP addresses of the loopback interfaces and the host names R3 loop 0 and R3 loop 1. Okay. Now see, this I don't remember how to do. Basically what we're going to do is, y'all know how typically when we need to ping something, right? We do ping and then the IP address, right? So now what they want us to do is say ping the name of the host. So in this case, like let's say ping burgerking.com instead of its IP address. And then hope that it gets a reply. But the router needs to know who is that IP address, right? He don't know about who burgerking.com is. He needs to know the IP equivalent to that name, right? So in this case, I see what they're asking for, but I don't remember how to do it. So I ain't gonna front, right? So let's do this. We got to go to global config mode, right? And I think it's either name, and there is a solution guide in this book. That's what I like about this book. If you don't remember it or don't know how to do it, you can go to the solution guide and tell you how to do it. So he said they wanted us to do name resolution for R1 for R3's loopback 0 and loopback 1. So it's going to be R3 hyphen loop 0 and R3 hyphen loop 1. So is it name? I know it's, nope, that ain't it. I think it's IP name, IP DNS or something like that. or is it DNS name? Something I can't remember. IPD, what is it? IPDNS? It's either IPDNS, it's not domain lookup. It's not domain. Let's see, what if you do DNS? No, that ain't it. I'm trying to remember it first before I look in the solution guide. Unless you guys remember it. Do y'all remember it? Basically, we're gonna come up with the kind of like what we do with the aliases, right? But we're doing an alias, but for hosts. And I don't think it's gonna be alias. Is it? Is it gonna be alias? I doubt it's alias. Domain. No. Let's see. IP domain. And then no, it ain't it. IP domain and then name. And then default name. Nope, that ain't it. Y'all remember how he said IP host? That's it right there. That is it. IP host. And the reason why I remember, well, now I don't remember it. I didn't remember it. The reason why I think you're correct is because I remember that when I was configuring my my terminal server, that is the command that you got to do to log into the different devices and just type in the name of the device instead of its IP address. So Aaron got it correct. It is IP host. That is the command for sure. So I guess I was halfway correct. I knew it was IP, but I thought it started with a D. So IP, let's see, let's type in H, right? You do host, and then what else? The name of the host, which he said is going to be R3-loop0, right? And then you type in the IP address equivalent. What's IP's loop 0 going to be? 10.0.0.0.3, right? So 10.0.0.0.3. Do you have to do the subnet mask? No, you don't. So that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Same thing with loop 1. So loop 1 is actually going to be what? Right? These guys right here. These loopbacks right here is what we're doing. Right? Let me scoot these guys over so y'all can see them. But yeah, Aaron, I think is correct. That is definitely it. That's the way you do it. IP host. Just couldn't remember what it was. I knew it started with IP for sure. And I like referring to you guys to help me out to see if y'all remember and stuff like that. Instead of going, relying on a solution guide. I'd rather help go, ask for you guys' help because it helps me remember more than going to the solution guide. Because I'm going to remember Aaron Lewis gave me that clue instead of looking at the book and saying Paul Browning with his book gave me that clue. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember this episode. So 10, it's not 10.0.0.3. Router 3's loopback 1 is actually 10.1.1.3. Press enter. And I think you could do show IP hosts to see them, right? No. Show IP, is it show hosts? Show hosts is it. That's it. Yes, because I remember having to use this when I was doing my terminal server. So hosts. So now, if we try to ping those, which is task 5, right? Test your configurations by pinging router 3, loopback 0, and loopback 1 using the host names instead of the IP address. So typically we would have said this, right? We would have said ping, right, to ping these loopbacks, right? I guess I should have pinged it at first to test it. Ping 10.0.0.3, I got a reply. And if I ping 10.1.1.3, I got a reply. But instead of using the IP address, we're going to use the host names, right? So in this case, ping, what is it? R3, what did he say it was? R3-loop0. So R3-loop0. Pray to network gods, press enter. We got a reply. Same thing with loopback 1. Press enter. We got a reply. Good to go. Shout out to Aaron for that. I remember now. I'm going to remember. It's IP host. Geekmaster, appreciate you for tuning in. Have a good evening. Lab, what else? That was Lab E. Right? Yes, that was Lab E. So I need to remember that. IP host is how you do it. IP hosts is how you configure it. And then alias exec is how you do the aliases. So I need to remember those commands. Need to remember those commands, man. Do remember seeing them, but configuring domain name resolution. Next lab, so that was local name resolution. Next lab is domain name resolution. So similar to what I was saying about the BurgerKing.com, and then is equivalent to an IP address, right? Similar to that. This was more kind of like the same thing, but it's locally. It's local. So we're basically going to take a URL and map it to a host name. I mean, map it to an IP address. So Lab F, page 546. I think there's only 2 more. Let's see. The next. Do I want to do the last lab? The last lab got 5 tasks. I want to knock these out, man, so that way we can get done with this damn book, man. I know typically we're done by the hour, but I want to get through this, man. I want to get through this. So should we save this for tomorrow? Y'all want to keep going? Because y'all know I'll keep going. We need to make these like chunks and stuff like that. We got people logging off and stuff like that. But y'all let me know if y'all want to keep going. Because y'all know I'll lab all night if y'all want to. Run me with that like button. And y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Here's an invite to the Discord server in case I cancel or we have any bonus streams over the weekend. Y'all know typically I stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna be doing some giveaways soon. I know I've been saying that for the past fucking week. Boson gave me a bunch of promotional software for their application. Their entire line of products actually, and they're gonna give me some to give away as well. So that one is for personal use. They gave me. They're trying to come up with a marketing strategy for me. Typically, you just give away stuff during like specific milestones. Is the best way to do it, or just say, hey, if you subscribe to my channel, I'll be giving away this stuff, blah blah blah. Right? But y'all know I'm not the typical YouTuber, man. Y'all want to keep going? Yeah, Kobe said, let's go. Let's do this, man. Well, let's wrap this book up so we can move on to the CCNP studies, man. Right? We're not junior engineers anymore, man. Task number 1. Let's read the, whatchamacallit first. Configuring DNS on an iOS is a fundamental skill. DNS provides host names to layer 3 address resolution. DNS servers are typically used in large networks, blah, 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 blah. The objective of this lab is to familiarize you with the steps to configure an iOS device with the DNS server, because there will be no real DNS server configured against to which to performing. So there ain't really much to do in this lab. There's only 2 tasks. Task 1, configure the router and host name. We did that already. Task 2, configure a router switch as a part of the how to network domain or how to network.com domain. Right? It's page 546 if you got the book. Configure your router or switch as part of the how-to-network.com domain. For name resolution, your device should forward traffic to DNS servers 172.16.1.254 or 172.17.1.254. Okay, so I know to configure a domain name. I do this a lot at work anyway, so that's how I know this one. You go to global config mode, or in this case, fix, right? Remember, that's an alias. That is not one that you need to remember. We just made configure terminal as an alias for. We made the word fix as an alias for configure terminal. So in case there's any newbies in here and try to put in the word fix, or you just logged on and be like, how the hell you did that? It's an alias, right? We said domain name. So I think it's IP domain name. Yes. And then you type in the domain name. So in this case, he said it's going to be howtonetwork.com. You know what? We ain't going to do that. We're going to do NetworkBruh.com because that's coming soon, right? NetworkBruh.com, right? You press enter. That is the domain name. That I'll remember how to do. What else? For name resolution, your device should forward traffic to DNS servers 172.16.1.254 or 172.17.1.254. I think I remember how to do this too. It's also IP domain, but instead of name, I think it's servers. No, let's see. Domain lookup, domain list, domain name. No, I think it's just DNS maybe. Don't remember. IP DNS server. No, where is it? Domain name. No, it's not it. Let's see. I don't remember how to do this one. I think it's just DNS. IP DNS server. No, that enables the DNS server. That is not it either. That's definitely not it. Configure primary DNS server. Oh, primary? No, that's not, I don't think that's it either. IP, DNS, primary, and then the domain name? No, I don't think that's it either. Do y'all remember how to do this one? I remember Aaron told me that to do the host name, it's IP hosts. So I'm going to remember that one. I'm going to remember this episode. I remember me drinking this water and me wearing this orange shirt. That's how I'm going to remember, by association. Configure a host name. Forward the traffic to DNS servers. Isn't that just DNS server? DNS? No. I thought it was just DNS. I remember DNS server. I remember seeing that somewhere. IPD domain. It's not domain lookup. If you do domain lookup, that's if you want to turn off domain name resolution. That's definitely not it. It's not domain name. It's not domain. We already did domain. What did he say it was? All right, I'm gonna look up. It is domain. Oh, it's IP name server. IP name server, and you also have to turn on domain lookup. So domain, you also have to turn. That's why I had to refer to the lab guide solution for this one. So not only do you have to do domain, which we typically turn off this feature, right? Because every time we have typos, it does a domain lookup. We don't want that, right? We typically turn this feature off, right? But we have to turn it on for it to do domain lookup. And we also have to do IP name server, then the IP address of the name of the DNS server, which in this case he said was 172.16.1.254, right? That's that one. Then he said, or 172.17.1.254. So that means we got to do another one. So we have two. That's going to define two DNS servers. So that's maybe in case we can't reach one or the other one went down or whatever. So now we have two DNS servers to look up, to do a domain lookup, right? So IP name server, and then the other one was 172.17.1.254, like that. Press enter. And I think you could do show what? IP domain? No. Show name. Show IP name. Jesus, what is it? Show IP DNS. 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 What else? Name list. Primary. Statistics. View. There it is right there. Show IP DNS view. What do you have in the book for the show commands? I don't think he had any. Let's see. No, he didn't even have any show commands. So that's a bonus for us right there. Show IP DNS view. NetworkBruh.com. So, Aaron IP domain name was the name that we needed to do the actual domain name, right? Just like what you said. I did IP domain name and then NetworkBruh.com. But when we need to refer to the actual DNS, we need to point to actual DNS servers, it's IP name server. So that was a new one for me. You would think that it seems like a fundamental topic and stuff like that, but I don't really use DNS services every day. So what I had to do for that, I'll show you real quick. Show run, and then let's just say section DNS, I guess. No. Show run section domain. If not, then no, that's not it. So let's just do show run real quick, just so I can show you. Show run. And the command that I was stuck on was this one, IP name server. That maps that IP address, or that actually makes the router point to those DNS servers. So when he needs to do a name lookup. That makes sense? Got wrong with that like button. We only got one more lab, man. But that's all. Let me see. What else did he do in the lab book? He said if an actual DNS server was available, and was providing name resolution, you could ping or connect to devices based on their host names. So in this case, what I could have done was ping networkbruh.com and I should get a reply. But obviously I don't have that website yet. Nor do I have a DNS server in this topology. So there's no real way to test this. One more lab, man. One more lab. Last lab of this book right here, man. Page 548. Lab G. Page 548, Lab G. Again, this is the book we're using. 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA, version 4. You get a copy of this from 101labs.net. I know he called it 101 Labs, but there's actually about 120 labs in this book. And I think the same goes for the CCNP version of this book. There's more than just 101 labs. He actually gives us some bonus labs, some appendixes. He gives us some extra challenge labs is what he called it. And some bullshit labs because he has some errors in them. Like yesterday's lab. We had a couple errors in it and there was some grammatical mistakes. There was technical mistakes. It was just like I had to actually veer off to create my own lab to fix it. So, but it's all good. A good portion of this book is accurate. So experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but 90% of what we do. That's why I like this book. So y'all know it's the easiest, best way to learn is by doing this stuff hands-on. I hope you guys are doing this along with me. So last lab, man. Last lab. We're finally going to wrap this up. We'll start the CCNP stuff. Do we want to start it next week? If I get those sheets done by next week, then definitely we'll start doing some CCNP topics, man. But I need to sign up for the exam and all this stuff, man. So we're going to get prepared, man. And I'm bringing all of you guys along with me. We're all going to get certified, man. Like I said, I only have to take one elective CCNP exam, which in my case is the NRC exam. But the thing is, I took router and switch a year ago, right? So half of them topics I ain't going to remember. And not only that, there's new topics that was introduced in the Encore exam. So not only am I, and NRC feeds off of a lot of the topics in the Encore exam, right? So I definitely need to go over those core concepts in Encore and then start studying for the NRC exam as well. So again, these are the spreadsheets. Once I'm done with these are the spreadsheets that I've been working on, right? Basically, I copied and pasted the blueprint, the exam guide blueprints, put them into a Google spreadsheet, and went through the books with a fine-tooth comb, put where I can find these topics in the book, what chapters they're on, what page they're on, etc., etc. Then I found a minimum of 3 videos for each topic, like this right here. And like, for example, GRE tunneling, right? We go here and we have a video from this guy right here. That's a pretty decent channel. And he goes over GRE tunneling and stuff like that. So we're going to go over that. And obviously, this is at the CCNP level. So once I'm done with this spreadsheet, y'all make sure y'all join that Discord server and I'll share it with you guys. Or I can share it with you earlier. You'll just have to fill out the rest of the sheet by your damn self. So I'm kind of doing some homework there, right? Paste that. That's the Discord server. Again, when I'm done with it, I'll share it with you guys on the Discord server. And then I'm going to, obviously, the CCNP version of the 101 Labs book. I will say where we can practice that topic, right? There's also the lab manuals that Cisco has. Getting mixed reviews about those books, but I want to get them anyway because the more practice I get, the more, the better it'll be for me. At least for me, at least. And I'll show you what those lab guides look like, right? Real quick. CCNP lab manual, right? And it's this one right here. So there's an NRC one and an Encore one. That's the ones I want to get, right? There's all these labs that are in here, and this is the official Cisco for the Cisco Network Academy. Problem with this book is there's a lot of a lot of topics that you can't really do without some, I guess, unless you're in the Cisco Network Academy. So there's some files you got to download, and I guess they're like startup configs. I don't know, but you can't do them without the book. But I'm just gonna get the book anyway. It does say $70, but there's a way to get it cheaper if you go on the Cisco Press website, and I'll give you that information as well if you join the Discord server. How to get this book way cheaper, like way cheaper. So don't get it on Amazon for $70. That's a fucking ripoff. Especially if you're not in the Cisco Network Academy. half of the labs you can't even do without specific files that you got to download unless you're in the Cisco Network Academy. So I'm gonna get those books. What else am I gonna do? Boson NetSim, like I said, they gave me promotional material for their entire line of software. So their exam software, the NetSim, the network simulator, and what else they got? The exam software, the network simulator. They got some courses and stuff like that. I'm gonna give all of that stuff away. And also GNS3Volt.com. I like that website. Renee Molnar. He has a bunch of labs, and we can. I'm gonna put in here where we can practice those topics, and also. So again, these are the topics, right? So like, say for example, we want to do, I don't know, Nat and Pat. We can find that in page 884 in the Encore book. I'm gonna find 3 videos on it in YouTube. I also have some like CBT nuggets, and I have a subscription to Pluralsight for my job. What else? Again, the lab manuals, Boson NetSim, and then GNS3Volt.com. Didn't even know they had lab manuals. Yeah, they do have lab manuals, man. But like I said, I've been getting mixed reviews about these books. So, but I want the more practice, the better for me, at least. And also, it allows me to do a deeper dive too. So, you know, y'all know how much I preach hands-on. Like, you could, like, it's just like driving, right? You could read all the theory you want, and you know how to you make a left turn, and you know this signal stands for this, and that sign stands for that, and all these rules and regulations in a book, right? But you ain't gonna learn how to drive a car till you actually get behind the wheel, right? This is why I'm always preaching hands-on and stuff like that. These lab manuals allow us to do that, right? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with these. That's my attack plan for the Encore exam, and also the NRC exam. Also have some extra learning resources on the side, so a bunch of white papers, right? So like, let's say for example, BGP, administrative distance. Talks about what administrative distance is. We click the link there and have the entire white paper from Cisco's official website, right? What is administrative distance? Context. We have a spreadsheet of all the default ADs, right? Also got some show commands to verify administrative distance, etc., 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 right? And this is a official documentation from Cisco. When you start studying for like the more advanced topics and advanced exam, like all the way to CCIE lab and stuff like that, you need to verify, or you need to do your research with the white papers. So I got a bunch of white papers that I attached alongside the topics. For the NRC exam, I got most of it done already, as you can see. See, I got most of the stuff already done. Where in the lab book we can find these topics? Got a bunch of YouTube videos. Here's one for OSPF route summarization. Here's a video from Kevin Wallace. Look at that. Even have a preview on that spreadsheet, man. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all killer stuff here, man. I'm going to give that to y'all for free. Just make sure you join that Discord server. What else? This, I put X's on, right? Because this is like topic that you can't really practice. What is that topic? Bidirectional forwarding detection. There's no like labs that I can find on that. So, but if you do find some, when I share it, let me know what it is. But we can, from the NRC book, it shows you where you can find it. Page 23. Or is that chapter 23? I think it's chapter 23. No, it's page 23. Maybe it's chapter. Who knows? Who cares? We'll find it, though. But what else we got in here? And not only that, I also got some recommendations. These are considered, these books right here, considered, this is like the holy grail when it comes to like networking. CCIE candidates usually refer to these books right here. For example, Routing TCP IP, volumes 1 and 2. I hear about this book. Jeff Doyle, I forgot what the other guy's name is, but yeah, this book right here gets referred to a lot. So it's highly recommended by a lot of people. This book right here, volume 1 and volume 2, is written by Jeff Doyle and co-authored by Jennifer Carroll. They just basically talk about, obviously, the TCP IP stack, a lot of fundamentals. So we definitely want to get some of these books. You don't have to, but you know, if we really want to be masters at our craft, these are a lot of these books that we want to get right here, man. The Switch Guide. What else we got here? QoS, self-study, IPv6, LAN switching. A lot of like official Cisco documentation for Cisco Press and stuff, right? Let's go ahead and do that final lab, man. The objective of this lab exercise is for us to learn and understand how to configure privilege levels. Y'all remember what privilege levels are, right? You need to type in a username and password onto a router or a switch. There's only so much you can do, right? The highest level privilege you can get is, I think, is 15. You can do anything on a router. You can shut down interfaces. You can make alias commands. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Versus a level 0, we hand those accounts, make their accounts to like the help desk people and the people that that work in the knock and shit like that. We don't want to give them too many rights. We don't want to give them admin rights, just like the Stig of the Day is, right? From Professor Black Ops. We want to give them just enough to perform their job duties, right? That's where these privilege levels come in. So right on time with the Stig of the Day. So task, well, lab purposes, configuring user privilege levels is a fundamental skill. Users can be configured with certain privilege levels that allow them to execute certain commands. You would be expected to know. Please use any single router or switch. So we only need one device for this. I'll close these up right here. So yeah, I will share those with you guys, right? So remember, there's these lab manuals. There's an Encore one. There's also an RC one, which is actually the exam I got to take. And I did, where is it? That's not the right one. That's not the right cover. That's not the right cover. Oh, that's the official cert guide. I don't remember purchasing this book either. Interesting. Whatever. What I wanted to see, that's the official cert guide. That's it. Yeah, that's the official cert guide. Anyway, there's an NRC version of this as well. You could look it up. Here, y'all want me to look it up real quick. Where is it? There it is, right? No, that's switch. That's route. T-shoot. Where is it? It's not in here. It's not in here. It's in the Cisco Press website. It's in the Cisco Press website. Anyway, close this guy. Close this guy. I'm over here browsing with y'all. What the hell am I doing? Let's bring up the manual. I mean where is it? It's Apology. Oh, it's right here. It's Apology. All right, so let's move on. Sorry, y'all. When you have your configs on a server, then you would push your configs with the aliases already in the configs. Let me see what you said. When you have your configs on a server, you would push your configs with the aliases already in the configs. Yeah, you could do that. That's true. That's true. And you could still use the other commands as well. So not only do you have your aliases, but you can have your you can still use the original commands also. So they're just like bonuses. You'll just kind of be, I guess, using up a little bit of the buffering or the memory, unless you have like a lot of aliases. Whatever. Task 1, configure the host name. Did that already. We only got 6 tasks for this. Task 2, configure the secret level 15 password Cisco 456 on your device. The secret level 15 password 456 on your device. Just the password. He didn't say about a username. So go to global config mode. He said just the password. Level 15. I think it's privilege. No. You just say, let's question mark, because I got a question mark through this shit right here. Encryption? Interesting. Encryption. And then I think it's secret app something, whatever. No. AES? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. He didn't say configure a username too, though. He said just the secret level. Oh, the enable secret password is what he meant. I think is what he meant. So enable secret, and then you can do the secret level. Level 15. Can you do that? No, I don't think so. Let me make sure. Yeah, let me make sure I read that back. Configure the secret level 15 password. Not the enable secret, right? It says the secret level 15 password, Cisco 456 on your device. Do you? Yeah, Aaron says it's the enable secret password. That's what I thought too, but I'll go with that because I think that's what it is too. So it's not just level 15, right? And it's just the password, right? So if you do level and then say 15 and then the password, so Cisco 456 Like that? Is that the level 15 password? Or is that making my password just 15? Right? Because I put in secret level and then hopefully this is level 15 password. I hope, no, that's not privileges. This is encryption. I don't know. We'll see. We're going back to the fundamentals here for sure. Issue the show IP interface brief command from user exec mode. Verify that this command works. And do you see the current interface status? So basically, they want us to go into privilege. What is not privilege exec mode? User exec mode. So right now, with the pound sign, we're in privileged exec mode. We know how to back up one. Now we're in user exec mode, right? Remember, it's user for you, and then if you want to go up a level, P, U, and then P for privileged exec mode, and that's the next level. So user exec mode, privileged exec mode, and then global config mode, right? So up and then G. That's how I remember it. So now, show IP interface brief, we can run that command. Okay, fine. And then he said, configure the show IP interface brief command to work only for users with level 15 access. This is a tricky one. I remember there was a lab he did earlier in this book for this. This is task 4 out of 6. And then we're done with the book, finally. About to hit the sack, folks. Until next lab. Man, appreciate you for tuning in, Anderson. Y'all know I typically finish the stream after this, but I went over the spreadsheet and stuff like that. And we did about 6 labs tonight. It's all good, though. So, go to global config mode. We said the password was, what? Cisco 456. Okay, good. Now he says to make sure that it'll only work for users with level 15 access. Now this I can't remember how to do. Do y'all remember how to do that? Do y'all remember how to do that? Let's go to global config mode and say privilege. Yes, I think it's that. Privilege. Exec? No. Yes. Level 15. And then initial keywords of the command to modify. Yes. Show IP interface brief. I think that's it right there. Y'all see how I just question mark through it? I promise you I didn't look at the solution guide for this. So now, if I get out of this, hold on, let me see what else he's gonna say. If you are connected via the console, type in the disable command to return to user exec mode. Next, issue the show IP interface brief command. If you have configured the device correctly, this will no longer work in user exec mode. Okay, good. So now, and this was the rarely used command, right? Instead of doing exit, we do disable. That's going to put us in user exec mode from privileged exec mode. Disable, D-I-S-A-B-L-E, got to type it out. Now we're in user exec mode. So now we do show IP interface brief. It should theoretically not work. And it didn't work. Perfect. So that's exactly what he did. Task 6. We're almost done, man. We finally wrapped up this freaking book. Long time coming. We did it in how many episodes? 84 episodes. Last task. Next. Type in enable and type in the level 15 password. Cisco 456. Attempt to issue the show IP interface brief command. If your configuration is correct, it'll work. So notice we got the caret symbol there. This lets us know we're in user exec mode. We do show IP interface brief. It does not work. Why? Because it is now a level 15 command. It was typically a level 0 command. Because remember, we did it before. Back here. Where is it? We did it right here. And it worked for us in user exec mode. Because it is a level 0 command. Now, we made it a level 15 command. That means you need to be in privileged exec mode to be able to run it. So now we're in user exec mode. Let's go to privileged exec mode, try to run the command, and if it works, we've done wrapped up the book, and finally, we're at the finish line. Enable, the password was what? Cisco 456, enter, pray to the network gods, and run show IP interface brief, and it works. That was Lab G, page 549. We're done with this book, man. Experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but 90% of what we do. I can't wait till we get to this finish line at the CCNP level and say, I think I know most of this stuff. I'm ready for the exam. You know what I should do? I should sign up for like the CCNA exam and see if I can pass it. But I ain't got money to blow like that. So anyway, y'all hit me with the subscribe button. Y'all hit me with the like button. Like I said, y'all can get this book if y'all want to, but we're not going to be going over the topics in here. If you want to like kind of go over it again, just go on my channel and replay those live streams, because we, like I said, we're on episode 84. It took us 84 episodes to get through this book right here. Imagine how long it's going to take to get through the other books that I have on this damn spreadsheet right here. Because we got the 101 Labs book. We also going to go through the Encore book, lab manual. We're going to go to the NRC lab manual. We're also going to do some Boson NetSyn labs. So shout out to them for giving me a lot of that stuff. So anyway, for now, comment. Make sure y'all join that Discord server. Like, subscribe to the network.